board game gamers, welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Board Game Captain.
And I'm Alex.
And today we are going to be reviewing and showing you how to play and talking about Niju. So here I have in my hands Niju, the Proverbs edition. It was designed by Nestor Romeral Andres, and it was sent to us by the publisher XV Games. Now, I would like to give a big thank you to XV Games, the publisher, for sending us this copy of Niju to play and have fun with, as well as make some content with, like this video here. So, thank you, XV Games. Before we get started, I do want to say I'm wearing one of my merch shirts, the I Drink and I Game, It's What I Do, because it's what I do.
I hope.
And I would like to say that if you would like to get this shirt or any of the others, as well as the mugs that we sell, there is a link to our Teespring store in the description down below. And there's also a link to my Patreon if you would like to support the channel and get access to early videos and the ability to request review and tutorial videos for classic games, etc. So all linked in the description below. That is a good one. So now, Niju was published by XV Games. It is listed for 2 players, 20 minutes, and ages 8 and up.
2 players for sure.
Yeah, no other player count available. 2 players is where we are at for this game.
Yeah.
Not much to talk about there.
No.
Now, the 20 minutes, I always wish they would do a range.
Yeah.
Because I think 20 minutes may work pretty well as an average for your first few games, but actually, it gets quicker.
I would say that's the high end of the range. If I were to give it a range, I'd say 10 to 20.
Well, because the more you play it, the faster you get at it. I found that our later games, we played this a bunch, and our more recent games have been coming in under 15. Easy.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. Ages 8 and up is probably about right. This is, so I had a weird experience with this. This game is very easy to teach and easy to learn as long as you are a gamer. But I had an issue. I tried to teach this to some non-gamers that could not wrap their head around the diagrams of the spatial awareness.
Significantly older than 8.
Yes, they were. It was family members of mine that are a generation prior to me, and they were having a lot of trouble wrapping their heads around it. So I would say if you want to see if someone can get the way this game plays, show them this video. If they understand it from the tutorial portion, they'll probably be fine. Yeah, and that'll be it. So, all right, so let's have a look at what comes in the box. So we have the rules. And in the rules, it is a big fold-out pamphlet rather than a rule book. And we have it in English, Italian, and Japanese, which is a common language set for XV Games, actually. So the rules for English are literally just one large page. Yeah. One large page. Yeah, great diagram that shows you how scoring works.
Right. Half of the page is the diagrams,
Yeah, that diagram that shows you how scoring works is really good. Plus the diagram that shows you all the different types of pieces that there are in the game. So that's really nice. And then we have the rest of the components are the tiles, which you have, it says there are white tiles and black tiles. And on the backs they say Niju. And on the other side, they each have a Japanese proverb. Don't worry, if you don't speak Japanese, it is not important for the game mechanics. The proverb is really just sort of like art. It's just there in the background. It looks really pretty. And then you have the squares, which is literally what the game is 100% about.
Yes.
It's all about the squares. The squares are a diagram on how to win with each piece. Each piece has its own win condition. Which is really cool.
That is very cool, actually. 20 different ways to win.
So the components are pretty good. I mean, they're cardboard punch-out tiles. That's really all the components for the game.
Is it the whole thing?
Yeah,
the box could be a third of that size.
Yeah, it could be smaller for sure. Though I do prefer a larger box. I like the size of this box. But we're gonna head over to the table now. We're gonna show you how this game plays. We're gonna talk about all the rules and how you win. And I think we may actually go through an entire game of this
because it doesn't take 20 minutes.
It doesn't. It's actually really quick, so you might be able to get to see someone win. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about how this game plays and feels, and we're gonna rate it and review it. Okay, so here we are ready to play a game of Niju. So what you got to do is you decide who's going to be the white player and who's going to be the black player. So Alex is over here playing the white and I'm over here playing as the black player. Now you shuffle up your tiles and you make a stack, and then you each draw a hand of 4 tiles. Now, starting with the white player, you each play a tile on the table. The first tile is going to be placed in the middle of the table, and from there on, you have to place them side to side or orthogonally adjacent, like this, to the other tiles. But of course, right side up, mind you. Now I'm going to show you one of the tiles because it's very important for the game. So when you're placing tiles, you want to pay attention. This is the one from the bottom of my deck here. You want to pay attention to the squares on it. Now, when you put the tile down, you can imagine it being part of an imaginary grid. And there are squares all around this tile in that grid. There's a square here, there's a square here, a square here, square here, 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 and here. So you've got one each in all of the orthogonal locations and the diagonal locations. The squares shown on the tile reference some of those spots. To win the game, one of your tiles has to have 4 of its squares. Most of them only have 4 squares, but there are a couple with 5. But 4 of its squares must have one of your tiles, the tile of your color, so in this case black, in each of those spots. So for this one, I would have to have a black tile here, a black tile here, a black tile here, and a black tile here, and then this tile would cause me to win the game of Niju. So now we're going to run you through a few turns and really show you how this game works. So Alex, why don't you start us off?
All right, first tile is going to go right in the middle and going to look like that.
So now with this tile, you can see its pattern of squares. So you can see where Alex would now need to get others of his tiles to be able to win. So I'm going to want to play...
Draw back.
Yes, he has to draw one to replace the tile he just played. Now I'm going to want to play in one of those spots while leaving all of my possible squares wide open. So this is a good example of that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to play right here. Now he has a square on this side, which means he needed this spot to be white for this tile to win as one of its possible 4. But placing here, my squares are all in places that are not currently occupied. Here, 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 and here. So since I have all those open, this still has the potential to possibly win for me. So I'm going to take my next tile.
I'm going to play next to my original tile because this allows me to block here.
Yes.
For the black tile and also maintain
a connection.
A connection there.
So in other words, this tile has one of its 4 already occupied by the right color, so it is already beginning to become a slight threat, and it has stopped this tile from being a threat, which is also always very useful. So again, I'm going to be looking to try to block Alex's play here while leaving a tile wide open. It's a little difficult though, because I would have wanted to play somewhere over here to connect to the tile I already have, and yet I do not have a place there where I could block Alex because his squares are all on the other side. But if I play here, this is pretty good because this one will require these spaces and these spaces while it blocks this space from Alex's tile there.
For my third tile, I'm going to play right there.
Interesting.
Which maintains.
Indeed. So now again, it has one spot already available there, which is quite good. Now I am a little concerned, I'm not going to lie, about what's going on here with all these tiles. I don't like that many tiles being together, so I'm going to try to play in some areas that interfere with that in general. So I'm going to put one here because I think that might help to interfere with the fact that he's trying to make a big area surrounded by white tiles there.
All right, let's play this guy right there.
Very nice. Now this is a fantastic move because not only does it block this tile of mine, but this tile has 50% of its tiles already white, so that helps it. It's halfway to being able to win, while placing it there causes this tile to also have 50% of its possibilities already white, and therefore again making it also a big threat for possibly winning, which means I really have to deal with one of these or I'm going to have the shortest game of all time ending in a loss for me. So I'm going to play over here to block that tile.
Play right here.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Again, increasing the number of tiles that are a threat to me. Well played, sir. Well played. And also blocking, managing to block this one here, I might add. Well played. Well, I've still got 2 tiles that have 50% of their squares filled by Alex, so I'm going to have to block one of them. I'm going to block this one here. Oh. You know what, though? I think this opens up a good opportunity for me to block 2 of your tiles at once.
Yep.
So I'm going to do a little of that.
That is the problem.
Or is it the solution? Oh. Wow. 3/4 done. I have to respond to that immediately, or that will definitely, or I will lose. So I'm going to respond to it immediately with one of my 5 square tiles over there.
Blammy.
Oh, that's a little frightening. So you've got 3 of the 4 already here, and 1 where I can't block it yet because I can't play there yet. So I'm going to have to keep an eye, very much keep an eye on that one. Because that is in a dangerous spot. Very worrisome.
Ooh.
Play there.
Ruh-roh.
I don't know what you mean by ruh-roh. What seems to be the difficulty?
You're definitely building up something here.
Aren't I always? Yeah, I see that. I see what you're doing there. Okay, I'm going to play that there. Now here's the question. Are you going to continue on yours, or are you going to look to block me on some of mine?
Competitive game.
It is. I think we should do this whole game for the tutorial because this is going great. Game.
Did you get? You have one? I didn't know if you had it.
Got it.
Nice.
So now this is. I built this up ahead of time so I could sneakily stick this tile in. It fits the perfect framework. And there you go. That is how you play a game of Niju. So now we're going to head back over. We're going to talk about how this game feels and how it plays, and we're going to rate it and review it. Welcome back. So that was how you play a game of Niju.
Pretty simple.
Yeah. So we went through a whole game.
Yeah.
You saw I won there.
Yeah. But it was hard fought the entire way through.
No, it definitely was. It was back and forth.
That was actually one of our longer games, actually.
That was a great game.
A lot of blocking, a lot of moving around.
Yeah, and I think I really like how that game came out for our tutorial portion because it wound up being a game that really illustrated a lot of things I'm going to want to talk about.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because so this game, there's definitely levels to this. This is one of those truly 5 minutes long lifetime to master games. There are multiple levels to the strategy. Right. So the first level of strategy is when you start to realize how you have to really pay attention to the tiles on the board, and you have to notice, okay, my opponent's got 50% of that tile's squares filled.
Right.
I have to block it because otherwise really soon they're going to be able to win.
Right.
And that's the first level of strategy.
Right.
Then the second level of strategy is to be able to play out patterns of tiles on the board before dropping a tile in the middle of it that already has the win condition.
Right.
And on the defensive side, noticing that and trying to stop them, which we were doing a lot of until the last one. You didn't know where I was going.
I had 2 choices and I picked the wrong one, but you did a good job setting it up.
Yeah,
me having to make that choice is the whole purpose of that strategy.
And I think that's the third level of strategy is when you can start to realize to set traps, to set up multiple areas where big things can happen, to also plan 3 moves ahead.
Right. Well,
and that's where you get like really high level, which I think I'm starting to get into that. I've noticed I plan about 3 moves out.
Well, you're starting to plan farther than what you have in your hand.
Well,
because you know, right?
You know the other stuff is out there.
You know the other tiles.
That's the next level.
Right. Being able to know, or at least have a sense of what's still available in your deck.
But see now, like, that's the thing that's so great about this game is the levels. So like it says ages 8 and up, and 2 8-year-olds playing with each other, they'll be fine. They'll be on the same level. But when you start as adults to play this, and as you play it more and more, and the game slowly reveals itself to you.
Right.
Reveals these bits of strategy when you suddenly go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But if I do this and then that, and it doesn't even matter what I draw, because if I do this and then that and then that,
right.
I might be able to set up a win condition to just play in the middle. That's awesome.
Right.
That is so cool when you start to see those patterns.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so very dependent on what you've done, what your opponent is doing, and what you're planning, because you literally have to build upon what you've created.
Yes.
And if you start setting yourself up where you're easy to block, or you start setting yourself up where you're too aggressive, you have to build on what you've made. And if you don't have a good foundation of that, you just start you're lost. And if somebody else is playing on the third level, you don't really have much chance.
You can't make a big mistake when your opponent is playing on a high level, because if you do, they will capitalize on it. And that's why it's good to have people that are fairly on the same level.
But you can move up fairly quickly. It's not like it takes a month to. This isn't like chess where it takes a really, really long time. And if you are thoroughly behind someone who's played this a long time, if you're thoroughly behind someone who's played chess a long time, you almost don't have a chance.
But here you can move up quicker.
This you can move up quickly. Within a few games, you can start getting that, as long as you're have that attitude or that perspective.
I would say, from the levels we already set out, I would say 2 games it took me to go from level 1 to level 2. 2 games.
Sure.
Another 2 games before I started hitting level 3.
Yeah.
So it happened pretty fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one of those games that, the more you play it, the more it will reveal itself to you, and the higher level you will be playing at. And yes, you can easily catch up to other people that are already better than you, which is one of the things that is so great about it.
Sure.
Yeah. So this game, it's a tile laying game, obviously, and very much so feels to me like a modern replacement for dominoes.
Similar mechanics for sure.
You trade in the number matching with spatial awareness.
Yes.
But it really has a similar feel.
Yeah.
But also, this game is all, in addition to the spatial awareness in general, this game is all about pattern forming and pattern recognition, which is not something I realized right away. But you have to spot the patterns.
Right.
Because especially as you get to that third level and you know what tiles are out there, when you see someone making that pattern and you go, oh crap, there's a tile that fits that pattern, you just have to drop something in the middle of it,
which is what you
to
did,
stop them.
Which is what you did early on in that game when I had 3 across.
Yeah, because I saw.
I have to interrupt this.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I have to play on top of this, because he's probably got something coming. Right. He's putting way too many of his tiles over there to not have something coming. And did you have something coming?
I did. It was good. I wasn't too upset when you hit it, because it was a couple. It was a couple moves ahead still, but yeah, it's.
But then I managed to set up the pattern and capitalize it at the end there.
At the end, right.
Right. So and that's wow.
So it's a very simple and very thoughtful game.
It's a brain burner. It is a brain burner. It is one that makes you constantly check back and forth across the whole field. Look at all the tiles that are out there, so you can see, what is my opponent working on? Are they distracting me over here? So they can sneakily throw something out over here.
Right.
Whereas, what am I working on? Where do I need to play? How can I distract my opponent so they don't play in the spots I need to go in?
Right. Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's definitely a lot going on for simple rules and simple gameplay. There's a lot.
You said it. This is so. I want to throw out also. This is just a little bit of an aside. So there's a agreement now between Nestor Games and XV Games where they're doing some joint releases, and they are also going to be releasing some of each other's previously released games in the other company's country. So now this is the second of the joint games they've done. The first one, which we already reviewed on the channel, Lynn and I reviewed, was Return to Camelot. Return to Camelot was designed by Marcello Bertocci over at XV Games, published by Nestor Games. This is the reverse. This one was designed by Nestor Romeral Andres, and published by XV Games. And I really have to say, this partnership is turning out gold.
Yeah.
These are 2 of the best games I have played this year. They're both spoiler alert about where my rating's going to be. They're fantastic.
Yeah, I played Return to Camelot, and I was thoroughly impressed with that one as well. I didn't even realize at the time that these had been
the way they had done them.
The way they had done that, but
they're both phenomenal games.
They're very good games, and I hope they have. I hope they got more in the queue. I hope this wasn't it.
Yeah, well, these if this is a wonderful sign, hopefully, of things to come. The way they came out of this partnership swinging with 2 really fantastic games.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Do you want to rate this one first, or should I? Or do you have something else to talk about?
Well, I'll wait till after you're done rating it because I just want.
Oh, you said you had some questions.
I did. I think I'm going to wait till after I get your.
So you want me to rate it? You're going to ask me the questions and then you'll rate it?
Yeah, let's do that. I think that'd be fun.
Okay, a little different.
A little different, yeah.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth with this, but literally, the more I play this, and that's why I wanted to delay the review of this a little bit from the time I received it, because this was a game I realized that it has a slow process of revealing itself to you, and I wanted to play it more and more and get a real feel for it. Some games you need to play more to get a feel for, and this was one of those, as simple as it is. Yeah. I had to play it a lot to get a full feel for it. I wanted to play it and play it and play it before reviewing it.
Right.
And I'm 9 out of 10. This game is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Like I said, this is up there as one of the best games I have played this year so far. I recommend this to all fans of tile laying games, all fans of pattern forming or pattern recognition games. Yeah, this might be my #1 tile laying game right now.
There you go.
That's, I mean...
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
I'm not... I mean, yeah, it's near perfect. It's fantastic.
So, first question was,
Go.
Remind the viewers, what did you rate Return to Camelot?
9 also.
9 also.
9 also.
See, there you go.
I'm not sure which one is better. I'm having trouble figuring that out.
And then, for a couple of reasons, this reminded me of another game. Obviously, the Japanese theme and Shobu. But... This
can I guess?
What?
Lanterns.
Oh, lanterns is definitely Well,
I thought you were going to say lanterns.
No, so the mechanics are like lanterns, but it reminds me more of Shobu because of exactly what you said about building on the layers of the game. You start to feel more of the game the more you play
because it slowly reveals itself.
Slowly reveals itself, and Shobu to me was
that's a very different game than
it's a very different game. That's what I'm saying. But that game, like I said, it may be because of the Japanese theme overlaid on it, but that game also reminded me of how like you played it the first time and you get it immediately.
Yes.
And then you play it a second time and you're like, there's more to this. And then you play it a third time, the fourth time, the fifth time. And as long as you're playing against somebody who's similarly, you start finding all these different things that are deeper in the game, and it's extremely simple, literally made out of things you could find around your house almost. And that's what reminds me of. And I loved Shobu.
Yes.
That was one of my favorite games. Like
ever.
Yeah,
you rated that one real high, I remember.
This is very similar for that.
Okay.
To me, for those reasons. So I would it's almost like I said, these 2-player abstract strategy games, I feel like are almost like made for me. And this is right up there with Shobu, which is one of my favorite games. I don't like this as much as Shobu.
Well, it's close.
It's up there. So I'm also. I think I gave Shobu, if I recall correctly, I think I gave Shobu a 9.5.
You might have.
So I think I'm gonna give this a 9 as well.
9? 9 even?
Yeah, 9 even.
Total agreement.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But this does for me what Shobu did almost entirely. And so, I think,
but in a different
way. And I think we had mentioned it. The production and everything is great.
Yeah.
If these had been made out of the plastic tiles, like domino tiles,
like Bakelite,
like the plastic, that'd be so awesome.
That would be great. I would love to see a premium edition of this made out of like domino style Bakelite or something.
Click them together. Yeah. That'd be so satisfying.
I mean, of course, that would bring the price up significantly, and I know that they probably want to keep the price down fairly low. But actually, I would. So I got this one for free, but if they came out with what would you call that? A
professional or a deluxe
version. That's the word. If they came out with a deluxe version of this that was like Bakelite tiles or some kind of hard plastic tiles, I would buy it just because I would love to have such a lovely, durable, and beautiful set of Niju, because this is that great a game. This is the kind of game that you want that leveled up version of.
Right.
Can you tell we're gushing?
It's very good.
It's very good.
The main reason I mentioned the size of the box is that this game could be in a box this size, and I think that would be awesome for travel.
But actually, I like the size.
I know you like the size of the box, but if you want to carry it around or
you could definitely put it in a little bag or something.
Definitely, and it's
because it doesn't take up
Definitely
a
a
lot of room.
pub table size game too.
Oh yeah, definitely good for a pub game. So this is 2 thumbs way up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This is 18 total stars between the two of us over here at the Board Game Captain. We really, really like Niju. Niju is a phenomenally good game. The design is just very elegant, very intelligent, very multi-tier, multi-level, brain-burning, abstract strategy. If you like those sort of games, yeah, check out Niju.
Yeah.
There's
no reason not to get this. If you like abstract strategy games,
definitely
just in and of themselves, there's no, just get this and you're gonna like it.
totally. So, all right, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns on this video or Niju, put them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this review and tutorial and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.